Hi, and welcome back.
Yes, to my basic kitchen.
Yes.
This topic is close to our heart, I think. Or we wear it on our sleeve, however you want to put it.
Yes.
How do we even start this?
So it was funny because one of the things we had like we had a list of ideas of things that we wanted to sort of like talk about for more of a talk style.
Yeah, and more
YouTube.
Bigger than stories on Instagram.
Right.
And a place that you could come back to if you need to.
Yes. And one of the things that was on our list and then recently was brought up by, I think you had posted it in your stories or somewhere, was talking about just like fat shaming and what it really looks like to be plus size and how else. I think older generations, the way that they aren't necessarily sensitive in the way that they approach or think of. Yeah, or that they could be. They're not as sensitive as they could be.
And I think part of that stems from, I think if you grew up in the 50s and 60s, thin was in.
Obviously, yeah.
And that was plastered. I mean, we look back on even like, Leave It to Beaver, the mom is there and she's got her like little tiny waist and stuff like that. And I think that was like the benchmark. And I think that a lot of people in the older generation have just never let that go because thin to them is success.
Means you're successful. You're pretty,
healthy. Yeah.
You're healthy. You can get a man. Life will be easier if you are
a certain size.
Skinny.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny. So obviously, it's closer to us. I'm obviously still plus size, and my mom's been plus size before, and as two people in that space, and now obviously in like the Weight Watcher community and health journeys and seeing where everyone else is, I think it's like still sort of a societal norm that if you're fat, plus size, heavy, it means like you're clearly lazy.
Yep.
You're not doing what you should. You're eating Twinkies and Ho-Hos like 24/7
or something. And here's the thing, is like even right now at 164 pounds at 5'2", I am still considered obese on the BMI chart. And I know that people look at that BMI chart as the be all end all. I don't, because here's the thing, at 164 pounds, I was able to walk 7 miles up a mountain in the Canadian Rockies and keep up. And I didn't say keep up. I was a little last of the pack, but I finished it.
Right.
So, and
for that reason, I do also think they're getting rid of, like, more doctors or health professionals are steering away from the BMI chart just because it's very outdated.
Yeah, and I literally just had all my blood work done for my quarterly diabetes thing. Every number is right on. My A1C, obviously not my weight, but other than that, like all my blood work, everything is perfect. So I think if you are one of the people that is still looking at the number on the scale, if we can all just ditch that and go for healthy and not skinny. And I will tell you that people, as I've lost 30 pounds, people are like, oh my God, Biz, you're getting so skinny. And I was like, nope, I'm still not skinny, but that's not the goal. But I don't want to be disrespectful and be like,
I think that's a part of it too, is people are thinking, oh, well, if someone's losing weight, it's because they're trying to be thinner, not they're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, or they have other goals that they're trying to meet. It's if someone's losing weight, they want to be complimented. And that sort of implies that I wasn't pretty when I was fat, or I can't be pretty as a plus size person, or that's really the only goal that fat people have, is to just be skinny.
And my first knee-jerk reaction when somebody says that in a direct message or email or something like that, saying that, oh, you're getting so skinny, is to say, oh, I'm still 30 pounds from goal. Like, I always try to flip it, like, I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, but I don't want to, like,
you don't want to not say something and
Yeah,
sound rude, but also then
exactly.
if I say thank you, because the same thing happens to me. I mean, but we've both been and are on health journeys, so that does sometimes mean losing weight. And if with my outfit of the day videos, like someone will say, oh, I really loved you in that top because you looked skinny, or that was like really the most skinny looking outfit, or the most flattering top because it made you look skinny. And it's kind of like, thank you, but also I'm not looking for clothing that makes me look smaller than I am, because I am a big person. Like, I don't...
Well, you wear stuff that you love to wear that's comfortable for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I just want to be comfortable, and if it looking more flattering is like a subset of that, then that's a bonus, but not always something I'm looking for.
Right. And one specific instance is I just recently bought a dress that has like a neckline right here, but the waistline is up, so it kind of hides my pooch a little bit. Love the dress. It's super flattering, and people are like, oh my God, you must be close to goal weight. And it's like, no, I just happen to be wearing clothes that are flattering to my body at the moment.
Right.
And that's not what I was going for. I needed a dress for an occasion, but I think that if we can get out of the mindset of skinny being the be all end all, I think that we'd all be
And
happier.
skinny meaning healthy. I agree. I think that it just brings a sense of, I don't know, I guess there's just more understanding to it. And I think if you're still stuck in that mindset of like, you see someone heavy set and you're like, oh my God, they, whatever it is you might say, if you're still stuck, like, oh, they must be lazy, or whatever it is, those things that come up in your mind, like, challenge yourself to think, like, what if that person's already lost 30 pounds?
Exactly.
Or 50 pounds, or 200 pounds, or
they're on medication that makes them
they
gain
have a
weight.
health condition
Yeah.
that they can't lose weight on, or, you never know, like, what someone else is going through.
Yeah, and especially a stranger that you see on the street.
Right. And also, I mean, the same thing goes for online, right? Like, you only see such a small portion of someone's true life.
Absolutely.
Online, and you can't always judge by saying, oh, well, based on her, whatever, 10 stories that I saw, she's falling off the wagon or whatever. I think it's very easy to get caught up in that mindset, because it's also the mindset that keeps the beauty industry going, right? And like the fashion industry, but speaking of that, it's like you can wear a size 6 pants somewhere, a size 12 pants somewhere, and they all fit you exactly the same.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, it's not really about whether or not you fit into a number or a size of pants or have a certain weight on the scale that you see. It's about how you feel. It's about how healthy your mind is. It's about building a healthier relationship with yourself and with food, and there's so much more to it. And I just feel like what originally started this conversation was just being stuck in that old school mindset of like, everyone's just looking to be skinny.
Yeah. And I hope that's not the case for you. But I would love to know, we both would love to know what your situation is with family in your life, or other friends, family, and how they treat you if you happen to be a bigger size. Do you feel like you're
almost like an outcast,
yeah,
or talked about, behind the scenes or under someone's breath, or...
Yeah, I'm curious, because it's easy. I mean, I think it's easier for us to understand what it's like to be overweight because we have been. Right. If you've never been overweight, you don't know what it's like. But then that person who, and my old boss would never see this, so I'm just going to say this story. So my old boss, I'm not kidding, she would she would sustain herself on Reese's peanut butter cups and coffee and a lean cuisine. So that's all she ate all day, every day. Yeah. And I was in control of giving her the Reese's peanut butter cups, and she'd come to my desk. But she would literally come out of her office. She was a thin woman, and she'd be like, oh my gosh, my pants are so loose. And she'd look at me and she's like, I'm sorry, Biz, I didn't mean to say that in front of you.
No joke, she actually said that.
And I'm eating a salad with whatever I was eating, I was like, okay, wait a second, just because you're thin doesn't mean that you're
healthy.
That you're healthy.
Right.
And the other, or maybe you're only eating, like literally, she would eat one meal a day, and then sometimes she would go home and eat a bowl of cereal, and that was her day. If she ate 1,000 calories in a day, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally. I was thinking about a time when I worked at a coffee shop, and there was this dance studio like 2 doors down from us, and the woman who owned the dance studio would always come in, and ironically enough, I just think this whole situation is so funny. She would always order a salad, but she said, I hate lettuce. And she herself was overweight. She was plus size. And she didn't like lettuce, so she would always get the Cobb salad, but without lettuce and extra ranch. And I am not going to say that's unhealthy or healthy, because like you do you, boo. I'm not about to judge whatever salad you like to eat. But there was a day that she had ordered that, and then as I was handing her food in the drive-thru, she kind of like was looking at me longer than normal, and I was like, I'm sorry, did I forget something? And she goes, you would be really pretty if you lost weight.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and like it's the same thing when people say like, oh, you have a really pretty face.
Yeah.
It's like it implies that is the only thing that you have.
To
your
offer
body
the
sucks. And you would be really beautiful if only you were skinny, you know? And
Lordy.
it's just crazy. Like
What's her name?
People say stuff like that all the time, and I don't even think they think twice about it. But especially just coming from her, because I was like, you're also plus size, so I don't really understand like what's happening here.
Yeah.
As she was eating like so much ranch, like she lived off of ranch. It was crazy.
I love ranch too, so I can't really say anything.
But no, I think it's good to like open that conversation. Obviously now I think being curvy and being plus size is more accepted than it ever has been. Mm-hmm. But there's still that weird sort of
Stigma,
like, yes,
Yeah.
there's still a weird vibe around it. And I don't want people to be like stuck both as a healthier, skinnier, size 0 person looking at down on everybody else, thinking, oh well, you're so unhealthy. That doesn't mean that that's true. And also, as a plus size person, don't think that your worth is tied to how big or small you are.
Absolutely. And I think that some people are like putting their life on pause until they get to what they think is the perfect size or
Yes.
something, and that all of a sudden their life is magically going to be so much different.
Yeah.
And that's not true. I mean,
No, I mean, how many times, especially in this community, have you seen someone who had either weight loss surgery or has naturally lost a ton of weight, and then they're like, you know, I look at myself and it's like, I still am sad, I'm still depressed, I'm still anxious, I'm still whatever. And it's like the thought of like, if I just wasn't fat, my life would be easier. Like, yes, obviously that's true in a lot of ways, depending on how
longevity of your life and stuff like that.
There's other things. But it's just crazy that, what was I saying?
About being a certain size and having that your life hold until you get to a certain size. Does that ring a bell? We lost it. It's okay.
It flew away.
But
But also, because losing weight, you're still unhappy. So like, it's not just about the losing weight, because that was what you ended that sentence with.
Yeah.
Was like, it isn't, because you need to be able to fix your relationship with food, look at like your inside,
people, relationships,
and
everything.
and fix all those things, you know, too, because it's not just like, oh, I'll get to this size and then I'll be happy. And I think that's important. And also like with weddings and things, it's like, well, I want to be a size whatever in my dress. And it's like, if the person that you fell in love with loved you at the size you are now, why can't you always be that size?
Yeah.
Or,
and actually,
if you're happy.
I just saw TikTok on that. We love the TikTok.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Is she didn't shred for the wedding, you know, because she had so much other stuff going on. Thought she was gonna, and has almost no pictures of her wedding because she was embarrassed by how she looked. And now she was celebrating her 50th wedding anniversary. She's like, I don't have the montage to go back.
Right.
Because even some photos that were taken, she deleted because she didn't like how she looked. And she's like, how sad is that I missed out on the most important day of my life.
Because I was self-conscious.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot more complicated than just a simple conversation. But I do think having more open discussions with people about it is only going to make things A, less uncomfortable, and B, open the door to other people understanding, just because I'm working on X, Y, and Z doesn't mean I'm trying to be a size 0. Or, just because you are a size 0 doesn't mean you're healthy,
Exactly.
And it's important to have balance.
Yes, exactly. So we'd love to hear your comments down below to see how maybe this topic might
resonate with you.
Be sure to let us know in the comments.
Things that people have said to you, because it's just crazy.
It is.
It's wild, especially like when it's family. I feel like that's probably the most. And when she had mentioned something, a good amount of responses from people was saying, shockingly enough, like my family is the one that makes the most comments about my weight or appearance or the way I look or how tight or loose something is,
Yeah, and I will still remember this. So I was a 4-season athlete in high school, played a year of sports in college. So I never had a weight problem, and I could eat anything I wanted because turns out you were
gonna burn it off. Yeah.
So obviously once I got a desk job after college, I went from being 125 pounds to 211 pounds. Like not overnight, but it gradually happened. And I just remember Poppy, or my dad, her grandpa, got me a sweater for Christmas, and I just remember opening it from the box and holding it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And he said, yeah, it's one size fits bus. And that just shut me down. Did I say anything at the time? No.
Well, of course not.
But it's how that was over 30 years ago.
Yes.
And it's still
sitting there. It's still sitting there, which means like obviously it still is impacting you. And I think there's a lot of people that have similar experiences like that, and it's still something that you think about, or when you're like going to the gym or making your meal plan, it's like whether or not you notice it, like those little things are still there. And I don't think a lot of people understand the damage that it does to make comments like that.
Yeah, and it was a one-off comment, but it still stuck with me.
Right. So
wow, that was a deep topic today.
There was just the tip of the iceberg on that one.
It is a tip of the iceberg on this one, but
I think it's good, and obviously it's
hopefully we can get the discussion going.
Yeah, a safer space to talk about just being open with weight and size and the way that we associate thoughts with a certain image.
I agree.
Let's change it.
Let's change the world.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Oh, my signal's lost. I thought it was saying my glucose is low. It's been high most of the day. So
yeah,
that would be a shocker if it was.
Okay.
It's all right. Just don't get diabetes, guys, okay? Just don't get it. And you know what else? Let your dreams blossom.
Oh my God.
That's my
I didn't even realize that's what this is.
Yeah, so we got a little bicycle with some flowers on it. Let your dreams blossom. Okay, so here's another so off topic, but that's how our ADA brain works.
Bringing it back.
We're bringing it back because I just ordered a refrigerator and dishwasher yesterday. And I went to Apt in Glenview. It was amazing.
It was magical.
We're gonna do a whole reel about it.
So magical.
But that got the discussion going. Oh, Biz, are you getting your kitchen redone? Nope, not yet, because I want to pay cash for it. It's just whatever. But then somebody mentioned today, it's like, why wouldn't you just make your living room your kitchen and then flip rooms around it? And now we're obsessed with that idea.
Yeah. I think just because it never occurred to either of us, because it was like, obviously it's going to take a lot of like effort to actually make that a permanent thing. But realistically,
it is.
I mean, like all day I've been thinking about like, do we just start moving things? Like, do we just see what it would look like?
So then my dining room would become my office, and then the back room and the kitchen would somehow end up being like dining and living back there.
Yeah.
And that leads to my backyard. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I fully support it.
Okay. So that's a topic for a video for another day. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the video series on that?
No.
Wow.
That could go on forever.
It could. Okay, maybe it's 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vision board.
Vision board. We're going to vision
Manifest
board
it.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us for this one. This was kind of all over the place.
Yes, but that's how our videos usually are. So it's on brand.
It is on brand. If anything, it's on brand.
Yes.
I hope you guys have a great day. And be sure to like and follow, subscribe if you are not already. We're also on TikTok. Well, she's mostly on TikTok, Instagram, obviously.
Our website, all the things.
MyBusyKitchen.com.
We've got all the links below.
Everything is listed below. And be sure to shout out and leave a comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Bye.
Bye.